Yeah. What's going on, my people? Everybody in the chat, what's up? Thanks for coming through. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me. Everybody hit the like button, man. Give me 92 people in here. Please close out the chat. Hit the like button. That is the only way we can push this stream through the YouTube algorithm and get more people in here and continue to grow Run It Back Nation. Run It Back Nation. What is good? It is I, DJ Eastwood, Run It Back Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros. First thing we gotta do before we talk about this loss. By the way, thanks for being here. Thanks for not being fair weather. When the Sixers win and it's all gravy, baby, there's like 150, 200 people in here before I even hit the live button. Half of those people are not here when the Sixers lose. You guys are the real ones. Drop the T, drop the T, drop the T, drop the T. Ooh! Ooh, look at it. Ooh, look at it. Yeah. Drop the T. Yeah, shout out to everybody. What are you guys doing? Where are you tuning in from? What are you doing today? Where's my chat? Let me put my chat on the other side. I want to put my chat on the other side. There we go. So I can see what you guys are saying. Where are you tuning in from? What you up to today? Where are you at? Are you at school? Are you at work? Are you at home? Are you somewhere else? 76ers hadn't lost in a month, Matt L says. Exactly, man. We needed this. You know? It's like a child that's been good for like 2 months. You know what I mean? And then we start to be like, wow, do I have the most well-behaved kid in the world? And then one day, just woke up on the wrong side of the bed, something, and it's a disaster from start to finish. And you're like, all right, we were due. We were due for this one. If you ever raised kids, you know exactly what I'm talking about with that random analogy of the day. Hot tea on deck. Superhero. Chris Paul makes it work with his... Why are we talking about Chris Paul? I don't even know. I don't know. Why can't I scroll now? Now I can't scroll in the chat? What happened? Hold on. Technical difficulties. Okay, now we can scroll again. All right. Let's see. Pat Thompson working a double 12-hour shift. Is that 24 hours? Or is it 2 6-hour shifts? Either way, glad I can give you something to listen to while you are working a... What is happening with this chat, bro? Something's messed up with the chat, bro. It's going haywire. It's going haywire. I don't have control of the chat. A says, I'm in bed depressed from the Sixers getting blown out. There's no need for you to be depressed, bro. No need for you to be depressed. All right, we're going to start the chat over. This ain't... I don't know what happened. We got to pop it back out. And we got to restore chat, right? All right, pop out. Hold on. Give me a second here. I don't know what happened. Every time I click on the chat, it goes nuts and it freezes. Back. Back there. Scroll. Click. Nah, it's still doing it. Whatever. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with the chat. When I click on something, it freezes. We're just going to have to rock it like that. Shout out to everybody in here, man. Here's what I want to say. Dude. Everybody. I really can't scroll the chat, man. What the... Dude? Dude? I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Anyway, here's what I got to say. All right. Oh, I know what I can do. I can just leave the chat in there. I'll just leave the chat on the YouTube page. All right, that's what we'll do. Sorry about that. Here's what I want to say. Everybody needs to calm down. Everybody needs to calm down. The 76ers got their asses kicked yesterday, but it was needed. We swept the Brooklyn Nets. We beat the Boston Celtics game 1 without Joel Embiid. We were a little high on ourselves. We were a little high on ourselves. A 7-game series is a roller coaster. We forget that. Every single time we watch a new 7-game series, we forget just how dramatic it is and just how day to day everything changes from game to game. We forget that. In a 7-game series, it's going to look different every single game. Here's what happens. You play game 1, you beat the Boston Celtics without Joel Embiid. People see that happen, and they think that what they just watched in 48 minutes is what's going to happen the whole series. And they say, well, we beat them without Embiid. They can't stop us. We're going to sweep the Boston Celtics. Come on, man. You got to act like you watched ball before, man. Act like you watched ball before. Game 2, totally different scenario. Team looks totally different. I will say, a lot of things change when the ball's not going in the hoop. It's a game about makes and misses. When the ball's going in for one team and the ball's not going in for another team, that can be the story of an entire game, and everything clicks and everything works better when the ball's going in the hoop. The ball was not going in the hoop for us last night. But yeah, the game looked totally different than it did game 2, and they're saying, we're done. We are done. Did you see what we looked like on the floor last night? We got blown out by 40 points with Embiid coming back. We couldn't make a shot. We couldn't get a defensive stop. We couldn't get a loose ball. We couldn't get anything to go our way. We are done. The series is over. Nice ride. Fire Doc Rivers. Fire everybody. And I'm like, bro, you take it easy. You can't be a prisoner of the moment. You were saying the same. You were saying not the same. You were saying the exact opposite 2 days ago when we beat them without Embiid. You can't just take one game and call the whole series every time something goes wrong. That's all I'm saying. We'll see what happens in game 3. This is why it's a 7-game series. It's why a lot of these series between great teams go 7 games. Because it's, you never know what you're going to get. You never know. Carlos Rosado, thanks for the super chat. Sorry I can't put it on the screen because I'm having the issues with the chat thing freezing. But Eastwood salute. What the fuck is wrong with our fans? They act like if the world ended, stop panicking, get the rust out the way. They couldn't miss, we couldn't make. Yeah. And the rust is a good thing to bring up too. Obviously Joel Embiid coming back from injury. When he got hurt in the Nets game, and then he finished the game, had a game-saving block at the end, we knew that you could kind of assess from there that I don't think this is a serious injury. If he stayed on the floor and made those plays, he can play. And then we're speculating, is he going to play game 1? He doesn't play game 1. We're like, is he really hurt? People are throwing things out there. Skip Bayless is saying he has a torn LCL. Who the hell, since when is Skip Bayless an inside source? Everybody's saying a whole bunch of different things leading up to this, and he doesn't play game 1. And he comes back game 2. And I didn't see anything from Joel that would make me think he's more injured than I thought. I just saw a player that looked like he hasn't played basketball for 2 weeks. You know how it is. You get in a groove of playing ball, and then you sit down, you do something, you go on vacation, you do something, you don't dribble, pass, shoot, look at a rim, nothing for 2 weeks or a month, and you come back and it's like your whole game is just gone. It's all timing, it's all rhythm, and it's like everything's just out of whack and nothing's working. That's what I saw from Joel Embiid in this game, and the Sixers in general when you talk about rust. The offense, the style that we played game 1, keeping a fast pace. Now we got to figure out how can we keep a fast pace and incorporate our best weapon, which is running the game through Joel Embiid in the post and on the elbow and things like that. And, that's what I saw in this game. And hopefully it doesn't take too long for them to get that rhythm together, for them to get that communication together, for them to get that just, firing on all cylinders and clicking. It sucks that we have to try to figure this out in the middle of the second round. It sucks that once again there's an injury. Once again we're dealing with something and we don't seem like we are at full strength. But yeah, all I saw was rust, and I think it was good to get Joel Embiid back. It's good to know that he is back. I know we beat them without him in Game 1, but like I said, if you don't have Joel Embiid, you're not winning this series. Don't look at Game 1 and act like that's the story of the whole thing. Don't look at Game 1 versus Game 2 like I'm sure ESPN and everyone else is doing today and act like the Sixers are worse with Embiid. And look, they won without him, and then he comes back and they lose by 40. I know what people are probably saying who didn't watch the game, who just want to look at a couple of numbers and make up a story. I know what they're probably saying. I'm not going to read it today. I'm not going to turn on ESPN. I'm not doing any of that. But on a good note, you just got to say, hey, look, at least we got Embiid back. At least we got him back on the floor, running up and down the floor, shooting the ball, playing defense. And we got this rust. If there's a lot of rust, if there's a game and a half worth of rust, who knows how much, but at least we got a game full of it out the window, right? That's how I see it. And yeah, the game essentially, we couldn't buy a bucket. We just couldn't buy a bucket. James Harden in the first quarter had a 3-point attempt that went 99% into the rim and rattled out. And then in the second quarter, James Harden in the third quarter, James Harden had a 3-point attempt that went 99% down, rattled around, came out, hit the backboard, went back in the rim and rattled out again. And I mean, come on, bro. You could shoot the ball 10 million times in a row and never have that happen to you. So I think that's part of the story it was just one of those games. Especially for James. James needs to be making shots to be effective because he's not overly dominant physically anymore. He needs to be making shots to be effective. When James isn't making shots, he could fall pretty quickly, like you witnessed last night. We'll see if his shot falls in Game 3. But again, don't forget what happened in Game 1. Game 1, it's, we got Houston Harden back. And all the Harden stands are coming at me. All the stuff you said about Harden all season long, you're a clown, you're an idiot. I told you he still had this level of, I told you he still had the superstar in him. I told you he still could be Houston Harden. Game 2, now it's, Harden's washed. Let him walk at the end of the season. He's not what he used to be. Bro, you just watched him drop 48 hours ago. Come on, man. But yeah, it wasn't a good game. It wasn't a good game for Harden. It was a bad shooting game. It was a bad performance by basically everybody, but I'm just happy Embiid got back on the floor. I'm just happy we got some of the rust out of the way, and we'll see what they look like in Game 3. Hey, thanks for the super chat, man. What can the Sixers do about PJ Tucker not shooting wide open corner threes? Thoughts? Yeah, I'm gonna go deeper into that in a couple minutes, but I nicknamed him Pump Fake PJ this season. I don't understand it. I have no idea what's happening, and it's 100% coaching. And when you look at a guy like PJ Tucker, who was brought here by Daryl Morey, to literally stand in the corner, catch the ball, and shoot the corner three. And then for some reason, he's not doing that. And that continues. It happens so many times through the season. Where is there a communication? Is Doc Rivers having the intensity or leadership skills or whatever to sit down with PJ Tucker and look at the film and say, why aren't you shooting this ball right here? We need you to shoot this ball. Or is Doc Rivers doing what it seems like Doc Rivers has been known to do, which is just be buddy, friends with everybody. If the players go out and win, the players go out and win. If the players go out and lose, the players go out and lose. Doesn't ever really seem like there's film sessions. Doesn't ever really seem like there's a whole bunch of conversations being had about what went wrong. And you get that you've gotten that a lot from Doc's press conferences too, where he'll tell the media, this was just a scheduled loss or the basketball gods didn't want us to win this one. Like I know pretty much that at this stage in Doc Rivers' career, a loss happens, he clocks out and he goes golfing. That's what it is. The players are either going to play good enough to win or they're going to play bad and lose. I don't think there's a situation where PJ Tucker's passing up shots and Doc Rivers is having a specific conversation with him saying, right here, this play right here, why aren't you shooting the ball? So that is what it is. But the answer to your question, what can they do about PJ Tucker not shooting threes? Nothing. PJ Tucker has to know himself, I got to shoot this ball, because they don't have a coach that's going to dive deep into something like that. That's seriously what I think, and that's seriously why if this does continue and the Sixers do lose this series, I would personally be ready to move on from Doc Rivers, but I also would not be shocked if that doesn't happen, because I don't think the guys that are in charge of changing the coach know enough about the game to look at the intangibles like that and say, this is part of the reason this happened. We got to change this. So that's where I'm at with that. But why is PJ not shooting the ball in the corner? I have no idea. It doesn't make any sense. Just shoot the damn ball. Just shoot the damn ball, man. Yeah. So we had, rim outs. Harden rim out off the backboard, back in the rim, rims out again. Just ridiculous rim outs and good looks we were getting, and the ball just wasn't going in the hoop. It seemed like every loose ball went their way. There's a play where Jason Tatum drives, gets stripped by Tyrese Maxie. The loose ball goes right to Grant Williams, who kicks it to Marcus Smart for a three. Like a good defensive play by us turns into a three for them because of legitimately where the ball rolled on the floor. It was just one of those games. Just one of those games. We did keep leaving Malcolm Brogdon wide open. I thought just by rewatching this game this morning, and yeah, I did put myself through the torture chamber of rewatching this game this morning. I did think that Tobias Harris played some pretty bad defense. Pretty bad defense on Jaylen Brown. Pretty bad perimeter defense, leaving Brogdon wide open. Not just Tobias Harris. There were situations where even PJ Tucker was leaving him open. The one that I just alluded to, where the loose ball went to Grant Williams and he kicked it to Marcus Smart. George Niang was on Marcus Smart and just let him shoot a three. So everybody was slacking on the perimeter, just letting guys shoot. I don't know if we forgot who Malcolm Brogdon is, but this dude can shoot the damn ball. It doesn't look good. So maybe they're treating him like that guy on the playground. They're like, that shit was ugly, bro. He ain't going to do that again. And then bang, he does it again. That shit was ugly. I don't know. Let's let him have another one. See if he bang. And, all right, it's ugly. But I don't think he's going to miss if you keep letting him open like that. Oh, damn, that's hot. Yeah, so, we kept leaving Malcolm Brogdon wide open. We got to stop doing that. This dude was looking like a superstar point guard because of the defense the Sixers were playing. You know what I mean? They're still NBA players. It's the same way that Blake Griffin hit 8 3-pointers on us in that regular season game earlier in the season. Because he's still an NBA player who can make threes. If you're leaving him wide open like he's just shooting in warm-ups, he's probably going to make some of them. Play better defense on Malcolm Brogdon, man. What the hell? This shit was terrible. It wasn't totally a blowout the whole game, That's another way people are looking at this. Yeah, we lost by 40. But when you really watch the game, it got completely out of hand in a specific point, It's not like the game started and the Sixers just got their asses kicked right out the gate. Just boom, Boston's up 15-0, and they were up 25 in the first quarter, and they just annihilated us. That's not what happened. We got Embiid back. Embiid gets back on the court. We're trying to get the rhythm back. We're trying to get the rust out of the way. For the first 3.75 quarters, it was a game. It was a 5-point game with 1:30 left in the first half. And then they went on a little bit of a run. I think they made it a 10-point game at halftime, 12-point game maybe. It was a 13-point game with 4 minutes left in the third quarter. That's still within striking distance in the NBA, especially today's NBA, and the Sixers have the highest 3-point percentage in the NBA. A 13-point game is still within striking distance. It was a 13-point game with 4 minutes left in the third quarter. What happened after that was just an absolute onslaught of shots from the Boston Celtics. It was a 13-point game with 4 minutes left in the third. 2 minutes later, it was a 26-point game. 2 minutes later, it was a 26-point game. And at that point, it's over. They just had a barrage of threes. Derek White, Grant Williams, Malcolm Brogdon. Bang, 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 bang. Game was over right there in that third quarter. Let's look at the third quarter stats. Where have we got them? We got them right here. Let's look at the third quarter stats because this is where the game ended, right? This is exactly where the game ended. Quarter number 3, the Philadelphia 76ers scored 16 points in the third quarter. The Boston Celtics scored 35 points in the third quarter. So we got outscored by 19 points in the third quarter. That was basically the story of the game. And we were hanging on the whole time. And I was saying on the live, by the way, playback.tv/runitback Philly, watch Sixers games with us. If you're not doing that, why aren't you doing that? I was saying the whole game, like, you know, you could tell it was like right here. We were either going to cut the lead in half and make it a game, or we were going to let it slip away, and it was gonna go south very fast. And we let it slip away, and it went south very fast. That's exactly what happened. We got out rebounded 14-10 in the third quarter. We got out assisted 8-4 in the third quarter. 35-16 in the third quarter. I mean, you know, what else is there to really say about that? But that's where the game ended, the third quarter. And the game has ended in the third quarter for the Sixers a lot of times this season. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. We'll see if they can get it together, you know, for game 3. But I'm not sitting here freaking out. I said on that video this morning, the Golden State Warriors lost a game by 30 and won a championship that year. The Miami Heat lost a game just last week to Milwaukee by 30. It happens. Happens all the time, especially in a 7-game series. It is what it is. You had a stinker. Let's go regroup and come back for game 3. We'll see what it looks like. Joel Embiid, what did I really think about him coming back? First of all, the presence of Joel on the defensive end right off the bat is clear as day. And it's not just the blocks. He had 5 blocks in the first half. But just his defensive presence alone, he really, you know, makes people second-guess themselves coming to the lane, except for Jaylen Brown, who tries to dunk on him all the time and just keeps getting rejected. But, you know, Joel's presence in the paint was felt right away. 5 blocks in the first half. Huge lift for us defensively, and it just tailed off. It lasted for almost 3 entire quarters, and it just went south at the end of the third. And that is what it is. But you know, I liked what Joel looked like when he first came in the game. He's got to get back in, you know, basketball shape pretty quickly after sitting for 12 days. Who knows, you know, if he can really condition that much with a knee that they don't want to like overwork. I don't know. But he played 27 minutes in the game. I was pretty much happy with what I saw. I noticed that, you know, he wasn't like super aggressive. And I don't know if that's because the knee is actually painful and bothering him, or if, you know, he just wasn't aggressive because he doesn't want to hurt himself, or he's playing a little tentative or timid or whatever. But I definitely noticed that he wasn't like super aggressive. He was he got a couple one-on-one situations with Al Horford. One, he drove right past him for a big-time dunk. Another couple of like turnaround fadeaway jumpers. But you really only saw like flashes of Joel. You didn't see like all of Joel Embiid in this game. So we'll see what he looks like in game 3. But I'm not sitting here freaking out saying, oh my God, he looks injured, we're screwed. I just think probably he's winded, you know, after sitting for 13 days and going and trying to play a full playoff basketball game. Yeah. And I did want to look at quotes. Young Reezy, thanks for that. I did want to look at Joel Embiid's, what he said after the game, because he talked about, you know, how he feels and stuff like that. And here's a quote from Joel Embiid in his postgame press conference from John Clark, NBCS. I was supposed to be out 4 to 6 weeks. I'm not going to be 100%. I'm not going to be fully healed. I wasn't as aggressive. I was rusty. I was not myself. We got this out of the way. This is a step to getting back to being myself. I feel two different ways about this number. Like, first of all, he said like 5 different things in here. Okay. I would have been fine with, I wasn't aggressive. I was rusty. I was not myself. We got this out of the way. That makes me feel fine. I'm fine with that. I agree with that. That's cool. We got this out of the way. I got back on the court. I got back to playing the game. Let's go. I'm going to get back into rhythm. This right here, I'm not going to be 100%. I'm not going to be fully healed. I didn't know he said that, man. I didn't know he said that. Because if Joel's not 100% and Joel's not fully healed, we're in big time trouble in this series. If Joel's not 100% and Joel's not fully healed, we are in big time trouble in this series. And that's what sucks. It's not like we're doing this in the middle of the regular season. We're doing this in the middle of the second round of the playoffs. And then he says, this is a step to getting back to being myself. We don't really have time to be taking baby steps to be getting back to being yourself in the middle of a 7-game second round playoff series. That sounds like what happened in the beginning of the regular season where, he rolled that ankle or whatever and he was out for 3 weeks and then he said, I'm going to get back. Just give me what? In the regular season, you can take 5 games. You can take a month. We don't have that much time right now. Damn, I was hoping Joel's quotes would make me feel better, but DVW $20 super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel. I appreciate that. He says, I got 2 positives. Joel got his rust off before a pivotal 2-game stand. Yes, sir. 2 games at home. Let's go. Our core won't shoot bad that often. The bad news is Sixers can't win this series with an Embiid-centric offense. Guards got to win this series. Why did we trade for McDaniels? Woo! Man, I don't even know where to start with that. I've heard people say this today. And they've been saying the Sixers can't win running the game through Joel Embiid. And whether they feel like we can't win running the game through Joel Embiid because he's hurt, or they just feel like overall in general in today's NBA, you can't win by running the game through a center, which I disagree with. I think Joel is dominant enough for that to be successful when he's healthy. I just think, on that topic, I think people think that because you haven't seen it since a guy like Shaquille O'Neal. But that's because there hasn't been a center dominant enough for it to work since Shaquille O'Neal. That's what I think. But even Shaquille O'Neal needed Dwayne Wade on the perimeter. Even Shaquille O'Neal needed Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, on the perimeter. It can work. But the other options have to be at an elite level. James Harden has to be the best version of James Harden. Tyrese Maxie has to be the best version of Tyrese. Tobias Harris has to be the best version of Tobias Harris. I'm not saying it's impossible. You might be right that it's not going to happen. But somebody says it's possible and it will happen. Might also be right. Sixers can't win this series with Embiid-centric offense. Guards got to win this series. I think you're right that guards have to win this series because Joel's not 100%. And even when he is 100%, you saw what the Brooklyn Nets did, throwing the kitchen sink at him. Guards had to win that series. That's not really a detriment to Joel. That's a detriment to just our team and what we struggle with when teams can take Joel out of the game. Why did we trade for McDaniels? I have no idea. But I think I think Jalen McDaniels is another one of those players that we're not seeing the best version of because the system isn't there. You know what I mean? Jalen McDaniels, and I did the stats when we traded for him, and I did the stats over the first 10 games when he was a Sixer versus what he looked like in Charlotte. He looked way better. To me, it's remember when we traded for George Hill 2 years ago? George Hill was like the prototypical perfect backup point guard. All of a sudden, he came here into this system, into Doc Rivers' system, and it was just like he looked like a random guy on the court with no real job to do. So, that Malcolm Brogdon looks what he looks like in the Celtics offense. I feel like if we traded for Malcolm Brogdon, this is what would happen. And I feel like that's a Doc Rivers thing more than anything. Because you weren't getting production out of Matisse Thybulle, and you traded him for a guy who has more offensive intangibles and should be more useful than Matisse Thybulle. But you're not getting anything more out of him. And I think it's part of coaching is part of it. I think coaching is part of it. I do think that, man. I do think that. What else we got? Kastner, thanks for the super chat. Play Daniel House. Niang won't even shoot, bro. I don't know. I don't know, but I said, a lot of times throughout the season that Doc's love for George Niang is going to kill us. And, it killed us in this game, didn't it? It did kill us in this game. Niang passing up open looks and driving to the rim. Let me show you guys a clip real quick and you saw it last night, but I want to show you again. I want you to see it again. I don't know, what exactly is George Niang doing right here on this play. Let me try to get this as big as I can. That's what she said. Pause. Here we go. Niang catches the ball. What the hell? Niang catches the ball on the perimeter right here. And, bro, your only job as George Niang, the slowest guy in the NBA, who's not really going to offer anything outside of a three-point shot, is to shoot this ball. But in game one, he had a play or two where he pump faked, drove the lane, and had success at like a turnaround jumper, something like that. And I think that got in his head a little bit, and he started to think, you know what? I'm a bucket. I'm George Niang. I'm a bucket. I'm gonna go give this team bucket. No, bro. We need you to chill out and just shoot the ball. So this is a specific play. He pump fakes for no reason and tries to drive the lane. And you're going against Marcus Smart. You're going against one of the best one-on-one defenders in the entire game. I'm sorry, George Niang. You're not going to win this battle. Yuck. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And I got another one that I put on my page a couple of minutes ago is a screenshot of PJ Tucker in the corner. Now, if I told you that PJ Tucker didn't shoot this ball right here, if I told you that PJ Tucker didn't shoot this ball, and instead he pump faked and tried to do a reverse layup on Robert Williams and got blocked at the rim, would you believe me? Why is PJ Tucker not shooting this ball? This right here is the sole reason you signed PJ Tucker. To play defense, to hustle, to be that veteran locker room guy, to be that dog mentality, to scream at guys like Paul Reed on the bench to get more out of him in the second half. We love it. We love every second of it. And to catch the ball in the corner and shoot it. So somebody explain to me why in the world PJ Tucker is catching this ball in the corner and not shooting it. Especially understanding the game. The Boston Celtics got almost double the amount of three-point attempts off in this game that we did. It's a three-point shooting league. and we're letting teams shoot 50 threes, and we're shooting 26 threes because we're passing up. How are you going to win the game if you're refusing to do what needs to be done? I don't get it. I don't get it. You're one of the things that you should be thinking going into a game like this is, we got to shoot a lot of threes. We have to shoot all the threes. Every 3-point attempt that looks like it's even slightly open, we have to shoot it. Not only are we not doing that, we're passing up wide open ones. Even if PJ Tucker somehow miraculously makes this reverse layup on Robert Williams, you're still trading a 3-pointer for a 2-pointer. I'm not a fucking mathematician here, but that's -1 versus what the Celtics were doing on the other end. Sorry for the curse word right there. But I'm getting pissed off. I've been watching this guy do this the whole season. Pump fake PJ is back at it. Shoot the damn ball. Now, where was I, man? I don't understand, man. What else is your job but to shoot that ball right there? I don't understand it. I'm lost on that, man. I'm lost on that. What else, man? Tyrese Maxie. Tyrese Maxie did what the little Tyrese Maxie thing that I've been talking about, where he misses a couple shots and he loses confidence and he stops being aggressive and he stops shooting the ball. 291 people in here. Everybody hit the like button, man. Thanks for being here. So look, Tyrese Maxie in the third quarter. Box score, third quarter, Tyrese Maxie. Tyrese Maxie in the first half of the game had 13 points on 10 field goal attempts. He was 6 for 10 in the first half of the game. 60%, 1 for 3 from 3. He had 13 points in the first half. In the second half, Tyrese Maxie had 0 points. How did we do this? How did Tyrese Maxie go 6 for 10 in the first half for 13 points and not score a single point in the entire second half? I know he's only 22. I'm not even really coming at Tyrese Maxie for this. I need him to be aggressive. And what my man just said when he dropped that super chat and said guards need to win this series, specifically, we need Tyrese Maxie. We're going to need you to show up in the third quarter. If we don't get that out of Tyrese Maxie and James Harden, it's over. And I need the coaching staff and Harden and all the veterans to be looking at Tyrese and saying, Tyrese, we need you. We need you. Go get a bucket. We need you. Are they doing that? Or are they just clocking out and going golfing? I don't know, man. I don't know. But, hopefully we'll see game 3 what Tyrese Maxey looks like. But, this one was a great start. 13 points in the first half. A goose egg in the second. And the fourth quarter doesn't really count. We were already down by 40. I don't think anybody really played in the fourth. But that third quarter was atrocious, man. Atrocious. We got nothing from anybody in the third quarter. Let's look at the third quarter stats. What did we get from anybody in the third quarter? We got 8 points from Tobias Harris in the third quarter. Shout out to Toby. At least somebody was doing something in the third quarter. We got 0 from Tyrese Maxey. We got 2 from Joel Embiid. We got 1 point from James Harden in the third quarter. He was a -19 with, I want to probably say a couple, no turnovers, but just 1 point. 1 point from James Harden in that third quarter. In 11 minutes and 30 seconds, he was 0 for 4. My guy's absolutely right. You need James Harden and Tyrese Maxey if you're going to win this series. You just do. And what Joel Embiid said right there doesn't make me feel too good about him being the dominant version of himself. And there's another good point. There's another good point to be made. We can't. I love that. Thank you for that super chat again, man. I love everything you said. We can't run the game through Joel Embiid if he's not 100%. For it to be effective, for it to work the way that it's supposed to work, he has to be the most dominant player in the game, which he is when he's healthy. That's why we run the game through Joel. If he's not the most dominant player in the game, if he's not as dominant as he usually is, then it doesn't work. Then we can't run the game through Joel. Then you need Tyrese and James Harden to take the load and get it done. Pause. And get it done. And you're absolutely right. DVW again with the super chat, man. Appreciate you. You said you may hate this, but we may need Shake. The other series, Embiid as the offense is fine, but not this specific series. We need guards. I was saying in the live in the playback TV live, you know, what happened to Shake Milton? Why isn't he getting any run? And I know it's because Doc's staggering James and Tyrese, but yeah, I think you're right, especially if you're not getting anything out of those two in the third quarter. Maybe you call a timeout and try something different. Maybe you put Shake Milton in there. Shake Milton's an offensive player who can, you know, slow the game down. He runs that real slow, methodical pick and roll style of game, gets in a lane, little old man game, slow motion Euro step type of thing. Shake's one of those players that sometimes comes off the bench and he can like restore order, you know, and give you some kind of sense of identity off the bench. I don't know, but I don't think I see Doc Rivers making any drastic decisions. I don't see that. Look, here's what teams are with Doc Rivers. Teams are what they are with Doc Rivers. The players either play good enough to win or they play bad and lose. This is a coach who is known to not adjust. Blake Griffin called him out in the regular season, made a joke about him when Blake made 8 threes because we were leaving him wide open the whole game. If you're expecting Doc Rivers to say, okay, this isn't working, let me try something else, you haven't been watching Doc Rivers for the last 15 years because he doesn't do that. He goes up 3-1, the other team adjusts, they start killing the strategy, and what he was trying to do stops working, and he doesn't adjust, and he blows 3-1 leads. That's what happens with Doc Rivers. I would expect what's happening right now with the lineups to remain the exact same. It's either going to work or it's not going to work. I straight up do not expect Doc Rivers to adjust anything in the middle of a playoff series, and history tells me Doc Rivers is not going to adjust anything in the middle of a playoff series. I would be shocked. I would be shocked if Doc made any adjustment to the lineups that are happening right now. I would be shocked. It's just going to come down to the players that are on the floor. We're going to need them to be good enough to win the game like they did in game 1, or they're going to lose. You can't. I'm not saying that's okay, but I'm saying from watching Doc Rivers for the couple years I've been watching him, he's not a game changer. Doc Rivers does not affect the basketball game at all. The players either win or they lose. That's it. Doc's just there. And maybe that's the case for most NBA coaches, to be honest with you. But if you're in a situation where you feel like the coach has to do something creative and outsmart the other coach, it ain't happening with Doc Rivers. That's my take on that. That's how I feel about it. The team is what the team is with Doc. Yeah, it's just the way it is. I mean, he won a championship with 4 Hall of Famers. Was it because Doc outcoached somebody? No, dude. It's because you had Ray Allen and Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and Rajon Rondo and Big Baby Davis and you know, all those guys, man. James Harden in this game, yeah, it's funny how drastically different this guy is. And when he dropped 45 in game 1, I was saying, bro, he's been inconsistent, and don't be a prisoner of the moment. Don't expect James Harden to suddenly continue that and be Houston Harden and sweep the Boston Celtics and average 45 points a game or something like that. It ain't happening. He's been inconsistent all season. You never really know what you're going to get. It kind of depends on what he feels like when he wakes up in the morning, if he went to sleep at the right time. I don't know. Or maybe he was in Vegas before game 1 and he played great, and then he forgot to go back to Vegas. I said we should have had a plane chartered for him, fly him right back to whatever Vegas nightclub he was in, because that seemed to work. But, you know, James was not good in this game. So it's pretty crazy how drastically different one game can be from the next with James Harden. How he can go from a 45-point, absolutely dominant performance, game-winning step-back three, to just being what did he even finish with in this game, man? 12 points. And he was 2 for 14. 2 for 14. The level of that's probably the most inconsistent thing I've ever seen in my life. For a guy to go for 45 points and put a playoff game on his back, to the very next game being 2 for 14 for 12 points in 32 minutes. So yeah, you're not going to get 45 from James every night. You need the 22 and 10. You need 22 and 10, Harden, if you want this thing to work. Look at game one. Yeah, let's look at game one. Let's go back to game one. Tuesday? That was Tuesday, right? No, that wasn't Tuesday. What was that? Yeah, that was Tuesday. No, it was Monday. What the hell game? Where was game one? Monday, 119 to 115. Yeah, let's look at James in game one. Good call. Good call on that. James Harden in game one had 45 points on 17 for 30, and he was 50% from the three-point line. He had 30 shot attempts in that game. So that was James saying, Joel's out. I got to put the team on my back. And he shot the ball 30 times. And Tyrese Maxie shot the ball 24 times. We got to figure out how to get this with Joel Embiid on the floor, especially if Joel's not 100%. If Joel's not 100%, we still need James Harden to put up 30 shot attempts. We still need Tyrese Maxey to put up 24 shot attempts. We need the guards to dominate if Joel's not 100%. So I agree with you, DVW. Sorry if I messed up your name. I agree with you on your points about what we need to do with Embiid, Harden, and everybody. Connor Murphy, thanks for the super chat. Harden and Embiid running offense while the other sits. Too much when they're both on the court and the Celtics play zone. Maxey would be better too. Harden and Embiid running offense while the other sits. Harden and Embiid running offense while the other sits. Question mark. Is that a question? I don't understand. Too much when they are both on the court and the Celtics play zone. Oh, okay. What you're saying is you think we should be running the game through Harden with Joel on the bench and then running the game through Joel with Harden on the bench because they struggle when the Celtics run zone when they're on the court together. Maxey would. I think they did that though. I think Doc did that at the end of the first quarter in last night. Embiid went to the bench first and Harden was running the offense, and then Embiid came back in and Harden sat. I think he tried to do that. I don't know how much it worked. I guess we could find out if he did that, right? Thursday? Wait, what's today? Today's Thursday. Yesterday was Wednesday. We can go to the box score and look at who was on the floor, right? All periods, first quarter. Joel Embiid played 7 minutes in the first quarter. James Harden played 10:55. James had 6 field goal attempts in the first. Embiid had 3. So just by looking at those numbers, that tells me that Embiid went to the bench and Harden continued to run the game. And then the second quarter, when Embiid came back in, he played 9 minutes. Harden still played 9 minutes and 55 seconds in that quarter. But Tyrese Maxey had the most field goal attempts in the second quarter at 7 field goal attempts. So kind of what you're exactly saying is kind of exactly what Doc Rivers tried to do last night. Embiid went to the bench first. Harden led the team in field goal attempts. And then Embiid came back in. Tyrese Maxey led the team in field goal attempts in the second quarter. I think he's been trying to stagger Embiid or Harden and Maxey and figure out a way to, run 2 styles of offense, one around James Harden and one around Embiid. But I think the main thing is we're gonna have to choose here. Is Joel 100% or is he not? If he's not 100%, the game has to be run the way that it was run the first game. That's just all there is to it. And we'll see if that happens in game 3. That's really what I think, man. That's really what I think. Other than that, man, Paul Reed had a couple of plays that I think showed me that he's been developing on the offensive side of the ball and defensively. Paul Reed had the behind the back pass to DeAnthony Melton. That's crazy. took a dribble under the rim, saw the second defender rotate over and hit a behind-the-back pass to D'Anthony Melton. I love that. And I love, Paul Reed's development. And you got to be on the court. We've been saying this. Players won't develop if you don't play them. Isaiah Joe went to OKC and all of a sudden developed the game because he was given a chance. He was given some minutes on the floor. Paul Reed, we've been saying for 2 years, just put the guy on the floor, let him play through his mistakes, and he'll develop. And look, that's exactly what's happening. That could happen with a lot of guys if there was a coach here that wasn't a stubborn old dinosaur and was willing to, try some things and experiment in the regular season. The fact that Doc Rivers runs James Harden and Joel Embiid for 38 minutes a game throughout the entire regular season, tries no experimentation whatsoever. We saw in a couple of games that Jaden Springer has some game. You would think that there would be some games in the regular season where Doc would say, all right, you know what? I'm going to give Jaden Springer 15 minutes this game, see what he does. On a Monday night against the Detroit Pistons. No, he doesn't do it. But shout out to Paul. He's developing, man. And there was a play on Brogdon in the first half where Brogdon drove on B-ball and he pump faked, and Paul didn't fall for the pump fake, and then he moved his body to the side and blocked a shot from the side without fouling, and I think that's development defensively for a guy like B-ball Paul. So, man, we'll see, man. We'll see. I don't know, dude. I don't know, dude. We'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens. What else? There's a couple things on Twitter I wanted to talk about. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Go ahead, throw it in the chat, man. Throw it in the chat. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything else? Any hot takes you got? Any questions, comments, concerns? Let me know what you guys think about this. NBA PR. I didn't even know this was a Twitter page. NBA Communications. Official league news and information directly from NBA PR. But it doesn't have a verified badge, but it does have 110,000 followers. I don't know what this is. But there's a post by this page that says, where is it? I'm going to find it. NBA PR. There's a post where it shows the Lakers and Celtics in the finals. I think they deleted it. There was a post where they showed the Lakers versus Celtics. Oh, right here. Fun fact. 30 days until the NBA Finals. Finals fact. The Celtics and Lakers share the record for most NBA championships with 17 each. So why would the NBA be advertising the NBA Finals and in that advertisement talking about the Celtics versus the Lakers if that's not exactly who they want in the NBA Finals? Now, when the Lakers, and I think the Lakers healthy are a threat to beat anybody, but remember when the Lakers were in the play-in, and even before the play-in, the end of the season, they started to show those free throw disparities between the Lakers and everybody else, and it clearly started to look like the NBA saw that if the Lakers win this many games at the end of the season, they can make the play-in, and then, they can be in the playoffs. They started getting so many more free throws than every team they played at the end of the season. And I haven't seen a major disparity in the calls yet in the Sixers-Celtics series, but this is just odd to me, Because as a business, what do you want? What do you want as a business in the NBA Finals? As a business, you want the most people to tune in and watch as possible. And the marketing is geared towards the casual fan. If it's the Detroit Pistons versus the Memphis Grizzlies in the NBA Finals, the ratings are going to be low as hell, and the league loses a bunch of money. If it's the Celtics versus the Lakers, the ratings are through the roof. The NBA makes a ton of money. Now, I think if it's the 76ers versus the Lakers, probably right about the same scenario. I think the Sixers are a major market, and the Sixers are a historic franchise, and at least in the 80s, at least before the 90s when the Sixers collapsed, the Sixers were in that conversation. Everybody else, they were the NBA juggernauts, the Sixers, Celtics, Lakers, whoever else. So, but maybe on the West Coast they're calling it a certain way because they really want the Lakers in the finals. But I haven't seen anything to tell me that like the NBA seems like they're influencing the Celtics over the Sixers. I've seen bad calls on both sides of the ball. It is what it is. We'll see. But I just thought that was interesting, man. I just thought that was interesting. And Joe Mazzulla in his post-game press conference made me feel good about the Sixers' chances in this series because he comes off as a little bit insecure to me. I don't think Ime Udoka would have done this right here. Listen to what he says. Hold on, where's my volume at?
Play every single time.
Listen to what he says right here. I don't think Ime Udoka would have said this.
And we got great looks, and we made the right play every single time.
Thank you, Joe.
You don't want to. Nobody wants to ask about all the adjustments we made from game 1 to game 2.
What? Bro, hold on.
And we got great looks, and we made the right play every single time.
Audio glitching. What does that mean?
Nobody wants to ask about all.
Was audio glitching? My audio? What happened? You guys are just typing audio in the chat. Can I get a little bit more detail? Oh, I'm good now?
We got great looks, and we made the right play every single time.
Thank you, Joe.
You don't want to. Nobody wants to ask about all the adjustments we made from game 1 to game 2.
So an experienced NBA coach would not get all types of butthurt when reporters after game 1 ask him about adjustments and, you know, this was killing you in the first half and you didn't make any adjustments in the second half. That's what reporters are going to ask you when you lose a game. And then the second game, he apparently makes adjustments and they blow out the Sixers and he's going to stand up there and be all, oh, nobody wants to ask me about adjustments now? Like he's upset. But that just comes with the territory. This shows a level of inexperience to me with Joe Mazzulla. And I think he's a little bit insecure. And I think there's a chance, where he could probably overanalyze the game and make some bad decisions. So, that's why he's a young Doc Rivers. Doc would have definitely said the same thing, bro. Definitely. Yeah. That's all I got, man. Thanks for hanging out today. The Sixers lose. It's nothing to freak out about. It was one of those games where the ball won't go in the hoop. We'll see what happens in game 3. I don't like Joel Embiid's quotes about him not being 100%. That kind of makes me nervous. We'll see. If he's not 100%, the Sixers need to run the game the way that they ran the game in game 1, which is Harden and Maxie get up the most field goal attempts and try to win the game from the perimeter. You can't be passing up open threes and letting the Boston Celtics fire 51 of them and expect to win a game. You got to keep up. It's a three-point shooting league. And if Doc's not going to make that adjustment, then he has to go because I will put him in a category with Greg Popovich in that sense because Greg Popovich hates the three-point line. And you can't hate the three-point line in 2023. You got to shoot threes. We'll see what happens, man. Thanks for hanging out with me. Everybody hit the like button. Give me 250,000 likes on the video, on the stream. Stay tuned. Y'all have a great rest of the day. Go Sixers. It's going to be okay. I'll freak out if we get blown out in game 3.